and for an Angel stepping into a new role. What do the Halos do for an encore? Find out now as Fox Sports West presents Angels Baseball. The Angels kicked off the 2010 campaign in grand fashion. They're looking for a repeat here on Tuesday night. It is a blanket giveaway. They're going to try to set the Guinness Book of World Records as Mitsubishi presents opening week. You got the Minnesota Twins taking on Los Angeles Angels. Hi, everybody, from inside the Big A. I'm Victor Rojas, along with my partner, Mark Gubza. Glad you could join us. And last night, Mark, I tell you what, we hear so much about the Angels offense, that first to third small ball mentality. Forget about the small ball. Big ball starting to happen here.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you're talking about stolen bases, that ability to be able to stretch runs in with your legs, but it's the ability to drive the ball out of the ballpark is what's an indication what this team can do this season. Jeff Mathis hitting number 9 in the lineup goes deep. Matsui against a left-handed pitcher gets the ball out over the plate, hits the right center, but Kenny Morales gets that fastball on the inside part of the plate and clutched it down the left field line. 3 home runs for the club. Last year, 173 home runs for the team. Look for that to jump up this season with the improvement of this offense.
Well, you mentioned Hideki Matsui. What a terrific addition to this ball club. A couple of days ago, we caught up with him, and he's excited about being in Southern California.
As a visiting team, I always enjoyed coming out here to play and play on this in the stadium. So, in that sense, I'm actually looking forward to the season and playing here in the stadium and spending more time here in the West Coast.
Yeah, I think you're going to hear the word professional when you look at the at-bats that Matsui does on a consistent basis. He was behind in the count there with 2 strikes, 1-2 count. Gets a pitch out over the plate, a mistake by the pitcher, base hit. Then this one, a fastball again on the outer half. Was able to drive it against a lefty. Consistent against righties and lefties, and shows that no ballpark can hold Matsui when he squares up that baseball like he did last night.
Well, it is a very tough middle part of that lineup. The Angels trying to double up on the Twins. The big left-hander Joe Saunders towing the slab up against Nick Blackburn. Game 2 is coming up. The first weekend it opened, April 30th, 1954. Go to Shakey's.com/trivia for the answer. The Halos have taken the field. Beautiful night. Why not? The Angels have presented spectacular high definition by Howard's official appliance and flat screen superstores of the Los Angeles Angels. Here's a lineup that Ron Gardenhire and the Minnesota Twins will run out this evening. Denard Span out in center field. Orlando Hudson at second base. Joe Mauer behind the plate. Justin Morno, the cleanup man, at first base. Michael Kadire out in right. Jason Kubel is the DH. Delman Young out in left. J.J. Hardy is the shortstop. Nick Punto at third base. That lineup starting 9 for the Twins. Be facing the left-hander Joe Saunders tonight, Mark.
Well, the defense going to be tested with Joe Saunders. That's 16 wins last season. Had that little bit of a tender shoulder there in the middle part of the season. Responded fabulously at the end part. Good fastball. Sinks the fastball. Backs up with a changeup. Will elevate a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Good curveball. Negates the running game very well. Good pickoff move to first base. And also fields his position.
Defensively behind Saunders. On the outfield, Rivera, Hunter, and Abreu from left to right. On the infield from third to first, Wood, Ibar, Kendrick, Morales, and Mathis is behind the plate for Joe Saunders.
When we talked about pitching to contact, Joe Saunders is all about keeping the ball down in the zone. And Albert Kendrick's a guy to be able to turn some double plays. A lot of ground balls will be to third, be able to turn them. Also, when you see some of those lefties get that off-speed pitch, infield very active for the Angels, especially with pitchers like Joe Saunders on the hill.
Eric Ibar over at shortstop, a terrific job leading things off at the top of the order. Last night, see if he can carry it over. Brandon Wood, a little bit of a struggle for him, and we'll talk a little bit about him during the game. But before the game, we have the ceremonial first pitch. And Naoko Takahashi, the 2000 Sydney Games gold medal winner in the marathon. Great first pitch. And listen, I don't want to start diplomatic wars or anything like that, but someone from the White House better take notes, because that's how you throw out a first pitch.
That was a good pitch. She's winning the gold in the Sydney Olympics, but yeah, that was pretty good form getting it over the middle part of the plate. Maybe even Tim Salmon last night might get some information and figure out how to throw a pitch like that. Although it's good Tim's not up here. He's a pretty good-sized human being now.
How convenient to say that tonight, not last night. Nice. Stay hot. Denard Span steps in. Same starting 9 for both ball clubs. Game number 2 of the season. This one gets underway with a fastball that is up and in for ball 1. Span last night 0 for 5, had 3 strikeouts, coming off a terrific year, signing a contract extension this past spring. Saunders quickly falls behind at 2 balls and no strikes. Jared Weaver picking up that first win of the year. 6 solid innings last night.
Like most pitches, that first inning, it's all about feel. And right now, Joe not getting out in front of that front leg. The first batter here in Span, elevated pitches.
There's a strike.
Did a terrific job. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that pitch he threw to Delman Young to get that fly ball out to left field and a changeup 1-0 with the bases loaded. Outstanding.
Get through that 6th inning, and Saunders walks Span to start this ball game off. Take a look at the Hyundai keys to the game, Mark.
Well, obviously, when you're on the hill, you want to throw the ball well, work down in the strike zone. He's had some success. 3-1 in his career with a 4.10 ERA. Of course, the Twins have had their troubles against lefties, especially when you have those M&M boys who have bat from the left side, have had some troubles against Joe Saunders.
Justin Morno. Quiet night throughout for the Twins, with the exception of Delman Young, who had 2 hits, including a home run. O'Dog pushing a bunt over to first. Morales is going to go to second base to get the lead runner. Nice play by Kendrick.
We could talk about Kenny Morales' ability to drive the ball from both sides of the plate, but his improvement defensively at first base, that's not an easy throw. Be able to get out there in front and make that strong throw, especially with a guy like Denard Span, his running ability. Good throw. Derek Ibar there at shortstop. You want to hit it right around the letters. Solid.
Noticed on that play, too, that a lot of times you'll get first basemen that crash right down the line, hugging or parallel to that line. You see them almost between first and second base, trying to cut off that angle because it looked as if Hudson was trying to push that ball towards second base, past a left-handed pitcher, because they do fall off to the third base side. Mauer takes upstairs for ball one. Twins catcher 1 for 4 last night. Reigning American League most valuable player after hitting .365, career high in 28 home runs. Also another career high runs batted in with 96. There's a strike. Is there one particular place to try to pitch Joe Mauer?
He's very quick on the ball inside part of the plate, but he likes the ball out over the plate because he hits the ball well to left field. I think the big thing when a guy like that, a good pure hitter, similar like a George Brett, the off speed, the slow pitch is a pitch that he'll roll over, hit a ground ball to second base.
That one skied out the straightaway center field. Hunter is back at the wall. 2-0 Twins. And up until last year, Joe Mauer wasn't a guy that was known for the power numbers. Saw the spike to 28 home runs last year, despite the issues that he had with the back in spring training, missing the first month of the season, or parts of the first month of the season. But I'll tell you what, some pretty good swing right there.
Well, and everyone talked about events that he'll develop power. Such a good idea of the strike zone, centers up the baseball very well. As you can see there, he centered that baseball up a pitch that was designed to be the inside part of the plate, got over the middle part, and Mauer hits out the center. Amazing jump though in 09, 28 home runs, and he missed the first 20 or so games of the season with that back injury.
The thing is too, when you look at certain guys and you see, I guess the one guy that stands out to me is Curtis Granderson, the type of hitter that he was 2 or 3 years ago. Average numbers are okay as far as power, but all of a sudden you see the spike in the power numbers. The average dips down because he changes the approach. There's more of a lofty type of swing. Joe Mauer looks like the same guy he's been probably since high school.
3 times he's won a batting title already, and in the catch position, you're right, he doesn't get fooled a lot.
Breaking ball is laced into right field. Saunders had gotten ahead of Morno at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Decent pitch there to Morno. He's out in front, but there's just a little bit too much to play. He wanted that off the outside corner. When you're ahead of the count, you can expand the zone. Morno is 3 for 12 in his career going into that at bat against Joe Saunders. Joe Mauer was 0 for 8 against Joe Saunders. Try that at home run.
Michael Kadire went 1 for 3 last night with a single. A little loop around to right center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Morno will round second, head over to third. And the Twins have runners at the corners, already up 2-0 here in the first inning. And Jason Kubel coming to the plate.
It's a nice piece of hitting by Michael Kadire. Pitch out over the plate, went with it. You try to pull that pitch, you end up with a ground ball to shortstop.
See if Joe can settle down here against Kubel. Lefty-lefty situation. Twins last night was 1 for 6 with men in scoring position. Kubel 0 for 3. Saunders at 48 and 22 in his career, 422 earned run average. Relatively good starter. Last 2 of the last 3 years, 6-0 to start the regular season. I alluded to this during Angels Live, but you take Roy Halladay out, put him in the National League. Joe Saunders, most wins in the American League over the last 2 years with 33.
Consistent, doesn't get rattled. Great poise on the mound also, go along with that good stuff. Did he have a great game against Zach Greinke last year when Greinke was on fire? He beat him 1-0 in an epic battle.
Kubel fouling one off the left, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Saunders very good in the month of April in his career, 10-1. What that tells you that in spring training he's comfortable coming out of camp using his all-speed pitches. Even Rod Cruz said that last night, the ability to be able to make adjustments. Tim Salmon, same thing, early hitting off-speed pitches because everyone's ready to hit the fastball. If you can throw your secondary pitches, you could be successful.
That one's down and away, and it's a full count now. Twenty pitches thrown by Saunders thus far here in the first.
Jeff Mathis giving signs whether they're going to throw through the second base if Kadire goes on this 3-2 pitch with 1 out, or to throw to third, try to pick off Morno.
Dyer stays. Kubel just gets a piece of it, and the at bat continues. With Morno over at third base. Scott Olger flashing the signs, the third base coach. Not a whole lot of success for these Twins batters against Joe Saunders throughout their careers. We'll flip over to first. Went to Joe Mauer 0 for 8 prior to that home run. The O-Dog actually hit Saunders all right, 4 for 6 in his career. Another 3-2, and he lost it. Bases loaded now for Delman Young. Like Butcher's going to come out.
We talk about, we often say this, there's key points in the game for a starting pitcher, whether it be the 7th, 8th, sometimes it's in that first inning. Be able to make a pitch to get through to give your team a chance to get on the offensive side and stay part of the game.
We saw this a little bit last night with Scott Baker on the flip side, the Minnesota Twins starter. He struggled in that first inning, getting up 2 runs on a couple of hits, threw a lot of deep counts, worked his way through it and settled down a little bit, but Baker ended up taking the loss after giving up 4 runs in 4 2/3. Delman Young stepping up, fresh in the minds of Angels fans. Early in the ball game last night, Delman Young catching Jared Weaver for a 2-run blast. Saunders misses wide for ball 1.
These are the times when you're having a tough time commanding your pitches. You take a little bit off this fastball. See if you can get the hitter to think fastball, read fastball, but a little bit slower speed and get him out in front and get that ground ball.
It's 2 balls and no strikes now. The mind games now, right?
In fact, now a 2-0 count. You have to challenge him and hope that he pops it up or swings through it. Before to go 3-0.
Better yet, ground ball to Ibar would be nice. 2-0. It's down and in. 3 balls and no strikes. Bases loaded for the Twins here in the first, up 2-0.
Well, you wonder if he was going to get the green light, though. You know it's going to be a fastball right down the middle.
Swings and fouls it back. Full count now. Young has 1 grand slam in his career. That came last year against Kansas City Royals.
And that's the thing that now, if you're a pitcher in a 3-2 count, a changeup would definitely get him out, but you want to make sure whatever the most confidence you have in a particular pitch, you have to throw this with the bases loaded. A changeup would definitely get him out.
Out to right field. Abreu is there to make the catch. Out number 2 is recorded. Coming home is Morno. He'll score 3-0 Minnesota. At this point, moral victory. Get the out.
So, and you got to believe in your offense. We saw that power last night with 3 home runs for the Angels, so they know they could score runs. Now, if you're the mindset of a pitcher is, hey, I got to go deep in the games. Jack Morris, Dave Stewart, very good pitchers. They always thought, okay, if I give up some runs early, I got to have the confidence in my offense to come back and pick me up if I could throw some zeros up later on in the game.
Well, 2 outs now here in the first. J.J. Hardy at the plate. Hardy takes a breaking ball for a strike. Former Milwaukee Brewer, 1 for 4 last night in his debut with the Minnesota Twins. So his numbers overall dropped down last year. Picked up this past offseason, exchanged for Carlos Gomez. That one's bounced foul, just wide of the bag.
Well, when you first see him swinging that pitch that far out of the zone, you're happy that he swung it, but then it almost squibbed all the way down the line and almost hit the base. A disaster for Joe Saunders.
No balls and 2 strikes now. Trying to keep Kubel honest over at first base.
I was surprised on an 0-2 count to see a manager send runners in motion, maybe able to get a double steal.
Hardy swings at the breaking pitch. Mathis will toss on to first base. The top of the first comes to an end, but not before the Twins strike first. They get 3 on the board. Angels coming up. They trail it 3-0. Hideki Matsui cleaning things up. He's the DH. Kenji Morales had the home run last night, a career high at 34 last year. Juan Rivera in left. Howie Kendrick, the second baseman. Brandon Wood over at third base. Jeff Mathis back behind the plate. That starting 9 facing the right-hander by the name of Nick Blackburn, who has been very consistent his first couple of years in the big league.
A lot of 11s. And ERA about the same both seasons. Got a pitches to contact fastball, 88 to 92 with sink action. Will pitch inside early in the game against lefties and righties. Cut fastball, has a curveball and a changeup.
Ibar takes downstairs. Eric 2 for 3 last night. Terrific job working the count, setting the table for the rest of that lineup. Takes down low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Is there an issue with starting pitchers sometimes when you look at that? You see your offense. You'd love to see 3 runs up on the board, but as a starting pitcher, especially as a visiting guy, can't you wait to get out to the mound and get going?
Well, you always take the runs, but your responsibility as a starting pitcher after your offense gives you that support, you better throw up a 0 right away. Otherwise, the other club you're facing, that'll be the Angels, and I feel they're part of this game right away, that he doesn't have the stuff to be able to stop our offense. So if he puts up a 0, it's a whole different mindset for the Twins.
2 balls, 2 strikes now. Sybar takes that fastball in there. Blackburn in his career 22-24. 414 earned run average. Batting average against on both sides, left and right, are up there because he is that type of guy. He is around the strike zone and not a strikeout pitcher. Right-handers have hit .303 against him. Lefties .283, and that's when you rely on that defense behind you.
Yeah, his pitching coach, Rick Anderson, very good about throwing strikes, and that's what he has to be successful. And he's not going to blow away people with his fastball and the velocity, but if he can pitch to contact, gets the ball down in the zone, he can be successful.
Ibar's worked the count full to 3-2. The Angels have had success against Nick Blackburn. 3 starts last season, 0-1, a .756 ERA. Here comes the payoff. Outside, ball 4. So the Angels get their leadoff man on board as we look at the defense behind the Blackburn. Left to right out the outfield, Delman Young, Denard Span, Michael Kadire. Around the horn, Nick Punto, J.J. Hardy, Orlando Hudson, Justin Morno, and Phil Maurer is Blackburn's battery mate this evening.
Well, we talked about the Angels and their ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but they still will go first to third, and Michael Kadire has one of the strongest arms. 5 outfield assists last year, led the Twins. Their career at 19 and 07, so he's the guy that can negate that extra base taken by Angel base runners.
Abreu takes upstairs for ball 1. He was 0 for 4 last night because he had the 0 for. It snapped his string of 13 consecutive opening days with a hit. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
Both pitchers struggling with command of the strike zone early, and Blackburn very good as far as quick feed pickoff move. He has 3 pickoffs last season. Also a guy that's fairly quick to the plate, 1-2-4 to 1-2-8.
Deceiving, isn't it? Because you look at him, it's slow and deliberate coming home from the stretch. Numbers don't lie.
Just the threat of that quick pickoff move, even from a right-handed pitcher, sometimes will stop. If he can hold the baseball, that's the big thing you can notice. He holds the baseball well. He can stop that running game.
2-0. Abreu takes a strike, 2-1 now. And I couldn't agree more with you. It's almost a lost art, the fact of just holding the baseball. Forget about throwing over or look over. Just holding it, putting a base runner on his heels, get him a little flat-footed, especially guys prone to run.
You don't have to be quick to the plate. You don't have the great moves. You can hold the baseball, have the patience. You can slow down that running game.
Outside, 3 balls and a strike. So perhaps Blackburn sitting on the bench watching his teammates put 3 runs on the board. A little bit off is Tory Hunter looking for his opportunity on deck. Abreu takes a strike. He thought it was ball 4.
Definitely borderline on the outside part of the plate. I like that for a strike if I'm on the mound.
Absolutely. I knew you would.
I knew you were waiting for me to say that. Anything thrown out of my hand close to the strike zone should have been called a strike, in my opinion.
See if Sybar goes with a full count. He does. And Abreu just gets a piece of it.
Boy, look at the difference in that jump for Ibar because Blackburn held the ball so long and so well against him. Stumbled initially. He held the ball well and then just barely got out of the blocks there.
Love the fact he was peeking back in that situation. 3-2, you got to see what's going on.
He's always going to be aggressive like the Twins. They're going to send most of their base runners, their good base runners in this situation. 3-2.
Goes again. That one's downstairs. Back-to-back walks. And the Angels down 3 here in the bottom of the first. You have 2 on, nobody out, and Tory Hunter coming up.
That's one thing Ron Gardenhire did not want to see out of his starting pitcher. After your offense responds with 3 at the top, first inning against a very good pitcher in Joe Saunders, you go out there and walk the first 2 guys.
The starter last night, Scott Baker, had 2 walks. Faced 7 men in that first inning.
You see that little shake of his head and a little glare out to the mound. Managers don't like that a whole lot.
Gardenhire in his 9th year now with the helm. Here's Tory. He was 0 for 2 last time, but drew 2 walks. This one right back to Blackburn. He'll feed Hudson for 1 on the first double play. Ibar moves to third base, but 2 outs now. It'll be up to Matsui.
Blackburn, nice job of fielding that ground ball, but also get himself in good throwing position because that ball was hit so hard back up the middle. Hit a strong throw to Hudson, was able to get a double play.
Matsui land, we saw that last night. Decky 2 for 4 with that home run, a couple of runs batted in. First Angels player to hit a home run in his debut since Kendry did it back in May of 2006. He'll take a first pitch strike.
There was that cut fastball by Blackburn, the inside part of the plate. They're still trying to establish inside on Matsui.
Going back outside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Foul off to the left. Matsui just 2 for 9 against the Twins last year in the division series. Ended up heating up, of course. Peaking at the right time in the World Series, winning the MVP honors. And he got him. So the Angels get a couple of walks to start the bottom of the inning. Cannot capitalize. 1 in the books. Twins up 3-0. 4 for 5, a couple of home runs, 3 runs batted in, 11-6 win for the Reds. Roy Halladay, but he give up that double to Ryan Zimmerman. I think he settled down nicely.
I think with that offense, the Phillies are going to run out there every day. He might win 25 games and mark him. This is a great story. He missed the whole season last year at a no-no into the 7th inning, but ended up not getting the W as Texas came back and won that game.
Got a lot of guys, Blue Jays that is, injured over the last couple of years. So they're getting some of those arms back into the fold.
Well, how good is Albert Pujols? Hit a home run on the left, a home run on the right center.
Why pitch to him? Why not take your chances with Matt Holliday? I mean, it's not a knock on Holliday, but if Pujols has done it for so long and is so consistent, why not just skip him?
I'm not so sure even if Babe Ruth was behind him. I'd still walk him.
Everybody walked Barry Bonds. Buck Showalter walked Barry Bonds with the bases loaded.
I do my part. I'd walk him.
Saunders dropping the glove down, robbing Punto of a potential hit. There's out number 1 here in the second.
It's all that fielding drills and spring trainings carried over from Tempe to the Big A. You're laughing at it. He was in great fielding position. Looking up, getting down, fielding that ground ball, the PFP drills.
Did he catch it or did it catch him?
It's all about having the glove in the proper position.
Man.
He'll tell you he had it all the way.
You could polish it, boy. I'll tell you, that's good. That is solid. Denard Span at the plate with 1 out, nobody on. There's a fastball for a strike.
Tim Salmon said it best. Pitcher's the best athletes. Didn't he say that last night?
I think he said it with a wink and a smile. He was looking at me when he did it, too. Span takes that breaking ball down low.
Look at this all the way. Looked it in the glove. Just knew it.
That was off his foot. That ricocheted off his foot.
Well, there's World Cup coming around this season, so he's working on that.
Get ready. Span takes a strike, and it's 1-2. Punto was chapped. He threw the bat. Thought he had himself a base knock.
Well, that's a good feeling when you hit a ball center up like that, right up the middle, hits off the pitcher's foot and into his glove.
Big old hang with him.
It will make your hair stand up like it did.
Here's the 1-2. Span lines one into center field. That's a base hit. So man on with 1 out and brings up Orlando Hudson. Angel fans, groups of 25 or more can enjoy an exciting night of Angels baseball for as low as $6 per seat. Be part of fan experience that was voted #1 in all of sports by ESPN the magazine. Book your group outing today by calling 888-796-HALO or visit angelsbaseball.com/groups. Here's Hudson. Switch hitting second baseman, reached on the fielder's choice, came around to score on the Maurer home run.
This is a line drive by Span right up the middle, and Joe throwing up his pitching hand. You want to try to avoid that at all costs. Throw out your foot every once in a while to try to knock down a ground ball, but a line drive on your pitching hand is not a good combo.
Hudson down the right field line. This one tailing away from Abreu and into the seats.
Another elevated pitch, too, by Saunders. Jeff Mathis going out to say, let's work down in the strike zone. Saw what Nick Blackburn did in the first inning, walk 2 guys, but when you have that ability to sink a fastball, you're 1 pitch away from getting 2 outs. Same thing Joe has to think here. Think down in the strike zone.
The last time we saw Joe was against the Padres last Thursday in his last spring training tune-up at 4 strikeouts in his 5 innings. No walks. He went around. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ninth season in the Angels organization for Saunders. 3rd full season with the big league club. Got him looking with that breaking ball. Down goes Hudson. There's out number 2.
Good execution right there by Joe Saunders. Jeff Mathis went out there. Hey, let's establish inside. Fastball in, then followed up with a breaking pitch in the inside corner. Froze Hudson on that pitch.
Brings up Mauer, who homered to straightaway center field the first inning. Second hit of the season for Mauer. Twins, of course, been busy over the last offseason, signing a lot of their guys to extensions and contracts. Joe Mauer included. Homegrown talent, St. Paul, Minnesota. He signed a big-time contract. See him. Second from the right, 8-year, $184 million deal. The only non-New York Yankee in that list of players.
Having that new stadium they're going to be moving in there, the Twins. Remember that extra revenue, homegrown product from the area. Just the perfect guy to keep around. You know, at some point you wonder, being a catcher, is he going to be able to stay in that position, continue to have that type of swing and numbers he puts up offensively? I talked to him before about this. He wants to be a catcher. And that's his position he likes. He's very good behind the plate defensively, but that takes a toll after a while.
1-1 just missed outside. Mauer not the only guy signing an extension. Denard Span getting a 5-year deal. Nick Blackburn signing a 4-year deal. 2-1 on the ground, sharply hit to Kendrick. Down number 3. A lot better inning for Joe Saunders. Middle of the second. Twins leading the Halos 3-0. Much better second inning for him. Angels down by the score of 3-0, sending up Morales, Rivera, and Kendrick. And why not be happy? It's the second game of the regular season, Gooby.
Just a few more games left, I think.
That's it. Stay hot. Kendrick 2 for 4 last night.
You
with
like
a
that
home
breakdown?
Run. Oh, that's. I mean, that's. If I were you, I'd peel that off and file that for an Emmy. Hold on, let me communicate that to the truck. Yeah,
thank
done.
you.
Done. Kendrick had a home run last night. 2 runs batted in. Terrific season last year, but tell you what, man, this is nice to see, especially from the right side.
So quick on that pitch on the inside part of the plate. Struggled early on the right side in that confidence. Although he always had said it's the best side for him to hit is the right side, but get the confidence going, you can see the results.
United States Marines, leaders of the game. 3 home runs last night, tying the club record for opening day. 61, 80, 96, and 2004. Mathis, Morales, Matsui. Got him on the inside part of the plate. Right underneath the hands, there's out number 1.
You notice about Nick Blackburn, he stays on that first base side of the pitching rubber. The reason why you do that is to be able to get the pitch on that side of the plate, whether it be a left-handed hitter or a right-hander. Perfect spot for that cut fastball under the hands there in that inside part of the plate to a lefty. You see right there, here's a pitching rubber right there. He's on that first base side of it. Reason why? He probably early on struggled to get to that part of the plate. He stayed on that first base side to be able to hit the outside corner to a right-handed batter. Exactly that spot.
And that cut fastball has evolved over the last 5 to 7 years. Didn't see a whole lot of it. At least it wasn't mainstream. But in today's game, it almost essential if you're a starting pitcher.
Well, a lot of times when you now you hear the word cut fastball, you see on that side of the rubber, be able to get there and establish. You can work down. That's where when you land there, you're going to land towards the outside corner, hitting that spot. What's most effective. But guys in the olden days, not that far back, would use that 4-seam fastball would be the pitch that had that cutting action. Now it's that slight turn of the wrist, able to get more of a cut in on lefties.
Rivera one hopper over to Orlando Hudson. Was out number 2 back in the 80s, early 90s.
Exactly. And the big thing, Greg Maddox is one who perfected that pitch, throwing that cut fastball in, and then you can throw that 2-seam pitch to lefties if you're a right-handed pitcher to be able to start at the hip of the lefty and bring it in on the inside corner. If you're a sinker ball, you have to have another pitch to be able to get inside of a left-handed batter, because most of that action runs away, and then they start looking on the outside part of the plate, and they have success against you.
Much easier to throw that cutter than it is to, or at least learn the cutter than it is a changeup.
It's almost like throwing a football. Same action if you're throwing a football, if you're a quarterback, or just throwing a football around in your yard. If you can throw that same action, you can have the cut fastball feel and be successful throwing that part of the plate.
That one right back up the middle. Howie Kendrick with a 2-out base hit. Third base runner of the game for the Angels. They had the top 2 in their order. Going back-to-back walks, and Ivar Abreu just could not do anything with it in the first.
Howard's excellent. Again, that's that cut fastball, the action of the ball running there, the seam. This time it ran over the middle part of the plate. I was able to square that up and hit that up the middle.
Here's Brandon Wood. Angel third baseman. He was 0 for 4 last night. Three strikeouts. Brandon reminds me of a little bit as I watch his swing. It's the first time I've seen him closely for an extended period of time from spring training now. Phil Nevin. Just enough of I don't know if it's with the hands, but there's just something that's eerily similar to me as far as his approach at the plate.
It's a while for Phil Nevin to be consistent at the plate himself.
That's out to center field, but Span is right there for the third out. Nothing doing for the Angels. We played 2 from the Big A. Blackburn and the Twins up 3-0. 4-0. And now for our Farmers Insurance true storyline of the game. On this date back in 1973, Richard Nixon became the first U.S. president to throw out the first pitch at an MLB game outside of Washington, D.C. Angels beat the Royals by the score of 3-2. Visit farmers.com today to hear more true stories from Farmers customers and to find a SoCal agent near you.
No right on the hill that day for the Angels. I guess President Nixon set him up with an all-speed pitch, and he was thrown after that 110 probably, Nolan.
1973. That means Pops was here for the Royals.
I'm sure he mixed in a hit. It was hard to strike out.
Doubt it. Swinging that wet newspaper.
Hey, your dad's listening in.
Justin Morno, a towering shot toward the corner. Abreu at the wall. Can't get it. Home run for Morno. And the Twins make it 4-0.
Justin Morno has had his troubles against the Angels throughout his career. A .211 career batter against the Halos, but tonight so far a single. Now that pitch inside part of the plate. After that ball was hit, Joe Saunders in our Honda Exmo shows his pitch was in the inside part but down. If you're going inside on a lefty, it's got to be above the belt to be successful. No motion to Jeff Mathis that he hit his spot.
Kadire swinging first pitch past the diving Brandon Wood into left for a base hit. So Kadire's 2 for 2. 3, 4, and 5 as a matter of fact for the Minnesota Twins. 5 for 6. Matt Palmer looks like he's going to start a little catch.
He's scheduled to start the game on Friday, but still the situation, still the long guy in this game. More of throwing session. Get a couple innings out of him if need be.
Kubel takes a fastball in there for a strike. It's quickly 0-2. Kubel drew a walk, 1-2 bases on balls that Saunders allowed in that first inning. And he got him on the breaking ball. Kubel is out, but Kadire advances to second base. So 1 out now. Man in scoring position for Delmon Young. Strikeout, wild pitch.
He's breaking ball in the dirt. Mathis did whatever he could. He squared his body out to be able to keep it in front, but when that spin action on the slider hits the ground, now there's nothing you can do as a catcher. Keep that in front of you when it spins off your chest protector.
Delmon Young checked his swing, or did he? Yes, he did, says Andy Fletcher, the first base umpire. As a catcher, as long as you fundamentally have squared your shoulders up, get that ball rotating, hitting the dirt, kind of at its mercy.
Well, Mike Scioscia has all his catchers in spring training working on that exact pitch. Be able to shift your body, keep your body squared up, keep it in front of you. But like you mentioned, on the spin of a breaking pitcher, there's nothing you can do as far as when it's going to go off and how it's going to react off your chest protector.
One shot foul, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Delmon had a sac fly in the first inning, picking up his 3rd RBI of the season. Now and Morno both leaving the ballpark the first couple of innings tonight. Nice job by Mathis on that one. Throw to second base, and they got him. I don't know that they did, but you know what? Adrian Johnson rings up Michael Kadire.
Well, that was pretty close at second base, but a nice job, though, by Mathis, though. Again, get his body in front, kept it in front of him, and then make that strong, quick throw. And we saw Kadire off the base.
Yeah, I do believe Michael Kadire had already pitched a tent at second base.
Our Exmo replay will show Kadire sliding in, maybe getting both feet on the base before the. But he applied the tag and kept it on there. That's what the call was about. He fell off the base. Good call. Originally, yes, he was back in time, but then he rolled off the base. Howie did a nice job of keeping the tag on him. An even better job by Jeff Mathis.
Now and right back off the glove of Saunders on the first. Third out is recorded. Twins get a fourth run on the solo home run by Morno. Middle of the third, 4-0 Minnesota. RBI. So Maurer left the building back in the first inning. A 2-run shot for him. And Angels with the uphill battle here. Down 4-0 in the third. Brings up 9-1-2 for the Halos. Mathis, Ibar to break against Nick Blackburn. Mathis swinging. First pitch. Lining on the right field. A base hit. Leadoff man is on board. Brings up Eric Ibar. Angel fans, come out to Angel Stadium tomorrow night as all fans in attendance will receive a free Angels Argyle beanie courtesy of Cacique. Tickets for this game are now available for 50% off in select seating areas when using the password ANGELS at angelsbaseball.com or at the Angel Stadium ticket window.
Oh, was that a nice swing by Jeff Mathis? Last year when he struggled offensively, particularly the first part of the season, he was standing straight up at the plate. I think he had to have him squat down just enough to be able to have a better center balance.
With the 1-for-4 night last night with the home run. Ibar drew a walk in the first. Takes upstairs.
Amazing thing, though, so far in the series, all home runs have been hit by guys. Last name starting with M. Last night, Mathis, Matsui, Morales, and of course, Morno and Maurer tonight. But Ibar can break the trend right now.
One down and away. It's 2 balls and a strike. Where do we fit Delman Young in it?
Well, I took him off the board.
I was just, you know.
I told Jared I took that offer for him, Jared Weaver against. He wanted that pitch a little bit better, so I took it off the board. Oh, but no, he won't mind that one.
I like how you think, though. I think. 2-1. On the ground at third. Punto goes to Hudson for one. They get the out at second base. Ibar reaching on the fielder's choice. A quick turn over at second base, too, by Hudson.
Well, that was, and that's a high chopper. You didn't think there would be any chance of a double play ball on that one. That's good Ibar running. That's why he's a gold glover. Throw by Punto, but a quick catch and throw by Hudson. Especially with a good takeout, too, by Mathis.
Love guys who play the game hard like that. Not dirty, it's just solid baseball.
It sets the tone, especially when you're never going to feel relaxed if you're a middle infielder going against the Angels, because those guys are going to take you out at second base. You're right, it's not dirty, it's just the way it's supposed to be played. Mathis plants a seed. Any middle infielder is going to have to feel that heat coming down to second base. It's going to be a routine play.
Way too often you see those players peeling off at second base or sliding about 50 feet in front of the bag. What does that do? It does not help you or your team anyway.
I was fortunate enough to play one of the best at taking that guy to second, and Hal McRae. Wasn't a time when a second baseman or shortstop wasn't leery of trying to turn a double play with Hal McRae running at second base.
Ask Willie Randolph. He put Willie Randolph out in left field one time with that roll block at second base.
That's the reason why that rule's now in place.
Abreu over the head of Hardy, and that's in the left field. First base hit. Ibar trying to go to third base, in there safely. Nice job by Nick Blackburn backing up third base. Otherwise, the Angels get a run.
That's truly outstanding by Blackburn, because most times you're thinking that guy's not going to try to go to third base with the plays in front of him. The Angels still, we talked about their ability to hit home runs, but they're still aggressive. This one replay shows an elevated fastball. Bobby did a nice job of bringing his hands up, fighting that one off, hitting the left field for a base hit. What a job by Ibar to go first to third on that one, especially when the play's in front. And Delman Young was charging that baseball also.
Not an easy play for a left fielder that is right-handed, having to go to his left a little bit and come in to try to square the shoulders up and make an accurate throw to third base.
Unbelievable has a book on all the outfielders throughout the American League, and of course the National League clubs are going to play an interleague play. Who could they be aggressive against? Who do they have to stay back a little bit?
Tory up now. Take outside for ball one.
We always talk about pitchers. Once you release the baseball, you become another infielder, and he did a good job of backing up. Most guys are already upset that they gave up a flare for a hit and not thinking he's going to go first to third, but that's a solid job by him.
Hunter fouling one off, and it's 1-1. And really is credit to Ron Gardenhire and the rest of that Twin staff, because you hear so much about the fundamental baseball that they play. Perfect example. Little things like that. You leave the situation where you've got runners at the corners, one out, and you put yourself in a place where a ground ball gets you out of the inning. No damage whatsoever.
Exactly. If he's not there, the run scores, and Bobby Abreu is in scoring position at second base.
Boy, Blackburn really working the inside part of the plate against Tory.
Pitchers like to throw the fastball inside if you're a right-handed pitcher or righty with a man on third, because you can see good RBI guys are looking to get a pitch up so they can hit, at the very least, a fly ball. So if you get inside on their hands, you can get a lot of weak ground balls or a possible pop-up in the infield.
lays off that one. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Decky looking for an opportunity. Twins scoring 3 times in the first, tacking 1 on in the third. Broken bat flare into shallow center field. Denard Span can't come up with it. Ibar scores, and the Angels are on the board. And I do want to say that I think the Angels and Eric Ibar are very happy that Denard Span did not come up with that ball, because that could have been a double play where Eric was out.
Yeah, Eric was thinking in the lines he was going to be able to score. Exmo shows that fastball again, running in. Just above the hands, Tory, but strong enough. Span almost able to make that play. That would have been an automatic double play. That was a pretty good read, too. A big swing by an RBI guy generally will freeze an outfielder, but Span was able to charge hard and almost made a great play.
Tory in his 1,500th career game, picking up his first RBI of the year, brings up Hideki Matsui. He lines with a punto, go over to second base, and they double up Bobby Abreu. That ends the inning. The Angels do get a run. We've played 3 from the Big A. Twins are still up. Top of the 4th at the Big A. Twins leading the Halos 4-1. Minnesota sending up 8, 9, and 1. Hardy, Punto, and Span to face Joe Saunders. Joe's thrown 59 pitches, 37 for strikes thus far. Hardy 0 for 1, strikeout victim in the first. 3 punch-outs for Saunders. Issued 2 walks, both coming in that first inning. Twins toward the end of last year had Orlando Cabrera, the former Angel, as their shortstop. Cabrera now with the Cincinnati Reds. I figured, you know what, I think we've seen enough of the Carlos Gomez experiment down in center field. As electric as that player could be, Gomez. Hardy throws one out to center field. Tory Hunter's going to pay up, and that one is gone. The Twins get that run back that the Angels put on the board in the 3rd inning. And it's 5-1 Minnesota.
Minnesota, just a few years ago, were at the bottom as far as home runs in the American League, but last year showing a lot of power and continuing into this season. C.J. Hardy averaging over 20 home runs in his career. He's got a good swing as far as elevated fastball. Most righties like the fastball, but they're going to drive it. Exmo replay shows that fastball above the belt. Dead center field.
Third home run for Minnesota as Punto takes a strike. And Hardy's a guy that the Twins are hoping to get back to what he was with the Milwaukee Brewers. 61 home runs since 2007, third most for shortstop. Had a down year last year in Milwaukee at 229. Just getting to that point, just about Carlos Gomez, it never seemed to fit kind of the Minnesota Twins way, if that makes any sense whatsoever. There's a mold, it looks like, in Minnesota of how they like their players. Carlos, electric, fun to watch. It's never quite fit in.
Exactly, had a lot of speed, great arm in the outfield. I think the thing when Gardenhire would talk about him, he wanted him to hit the ball on the ground, utilize his speed. He was a guy that if he hit a home run, all of a sudden he's up there trying to hit home runs. And he wasn't that type of player. And Gardenhire wasn't going to have him around too much after that.
Pulled off that trade. Milwaukee. They themselves have a pretty good shortstop coming up. A little young man by Alcides Escobar. Could be a lot of fun to watch.
People talk about Rookie of the Year.
He's got to get in line behind Jason Hayward.
That ball was hit pretty good last night.
Punto fouling that one off. Count remains full at 3-2. Another payoff pitch. This one out to center. Tory had to play perfectly. Here's out number one. Punto now 0 for 2 on the night. Spins the lineup back to the top. Brings up Denard Span.
You mentioned Tory Hunter in perfect position to make that play. That's something that we don't talk about a lot, is positioning of the defenders. You give yourself a better opportunity to have shorter innings, get those 1, 2, 3 outs. When you make a decent pitch, have the guy in the proper position to make the play. Tory was in that spot. Normally that ball goes to the wall.
Span fouling that one straight back.
You can see right here, Tory's sitting right in that spot. A pitch coming up from Joe Saunders. He didn't even have to move. Come right in on there. Normally, if he's playing his normal center field position, that ball's in there for a hit. At the very least, a hit, not a double. Ron Rennigan, the bench coach, has that outfield positioned out there too, because they get him in spots where certain guys, what their tendencies are on pitches. As an outfielder too, you have the option of looking in. If there's an off-speed pitch, play more so the pull, or a guy who has a good fastball is going to be behind on that swing on occasion.
It's funny too how guys almost at times don't trust the scouting reports. Where you get coaches moving you and you're sitting there going, are you sure? Are you sure, as an outfielder or position player in the infield? A lot of work goes into those reports, as Joe Saunders has been extremely busy out on the mound tonight. So 2 outs brings up Orlando Hudson. We'd like to wish a very happy birthday to a guy
who should get to circle him. He loves to be circled, and it's his birthday. Former Angel. Should be Hall of Famer.
No doubt. And you couldn't tell it's his birthday unless
I don't know where that came from.
It's ridiculous.
3,700 strikeouts.
Yes, Bert, we're asking you to wait.
Yes.
That's what happens when you're 89 years old.
He was trying to find a nice hat for his suit today. Figured he'd put a birthday cake on his head. Oh, it doesn't get any better than that. He had some good teeth going earlier today. We were doing the pregame show.
Oh, it's fouled off, and Hudson has a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Little Austin Power look with the teeth.
Just one of the all-time best. I don't think he's ever had a serious moment in his life.
What, 3,700 strikeouts, what, 61 shutouts? And he's not in the Hall of Fame?
Ridiculous. And I think this next year will be either his 14th or his 15th year on the ballot. So he's getting to the point where got to get going. There's some cake behind Burt.
He's liable to be wearing that before long.
Wouldn't surprise us. A little floater to Howie Kendrick. Ends the inning with J.J. Hardy. Touches Saunders for the third home run that he has given up in this one. Twins still up 5-1. Rally Monkey from 5 to 8 p.m. That's the real Rally Monkey. This is not a stuffed animal. The real Rally Monkey will be here from 5 to 8 p.m. Tickets now available for $5 off the ticket window prices in select seating areas when using the password SPRING at angelsbaseball.com. Not that Rally Monkey, the one before.
That was impressive getting through that read.
You like that?
Yeah.
Morales, Rivera, and Kendrick to face Nick Blackburn, who's been solid thus far. 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's gotten into a little bit of trouble, but he's worked his way out of it those 2 times.
Still, when you go back to that first inning, the first 2 batters walk. He's able to sink that fastball and get a ground ball. Double play.
.49 pitches so far by Blackburn. .31 for strikes, 16 balls. And rolled on the ground to Orlando Hudson. Here's out number 1.
Well, only the key for a sinker ball pitcher is try to get the opponent to be out in front and roll over that ground ball, whether it be the second base, and that was the case right there for Kendry hitting that ground ball for Orlando Hudson, or it's a ground ball to the shortstop. He's always showing the fastball in, but trying to get good hitters out away.
On the ground at third. Just gets rid of it quickly, and there's out number 2. Like Rivera broke his bat on that ground ball. 2 quick ground ball outs brings up Howie Kendrick. Twins scoring 3 times in the first, 1 in the third, and 1 in the fourth inning. Mauer, Morno, and J.J. Hardy have all hit home runs. Kendrick, obviously, in that second half after the demotion down to the minor leagues, turned things around. It was spectacular.
Well, so many young players, after they've been in the big leagues, get frustrated. They pout when they get sent down to the minors again. But Howie went down there, got a swing back, got his defense together. It's a big reason why they were able to win that division last year.
Nice play by Punto, but he bobbles on the transfer. Infield single for Howie Kendrick, his second knock of the game.
Be a tough play for Nick Punto, but he showed some good range. He had a shot at how he was able to get that ball out of his glove and make that throw from his knees. When he was trying to get the ball out of the glove, it slipped out. Infield hit for Howie. So a valuable player for Twins, could play all those infield positions.
Brandon Wood takes strike 1. He hit a fly ball to center field in the second, so he's 0 for 1. I'm talking about Punto. That was one of the things the Twins were looking for this offseason, or at least was reported that they were looking for. Third baseman Joe Creedy was there last year, had some back problems. It was talk that he was going to retire, although nothing's been made official. But the Twins really, they said, you know what, we got a guy, Nick Punto. We can just continue to run him out there.
When you have that type of offense around you, you can afford to have a guy play a couple different positions and just put the ball in play. Good speed for Punto. Good fundamental player like most of the Minnesota Twins players are.
Punto. Wood out to center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Stopping at second base is Kendrick. Good piece of hitting by Brandon Wood, his first knock of the year.
Couple good swings tonight so far from Brandon Wood. That's a goat swing. Kept down, drove that ball right up the middle. Actually, that was a pretty good pitch. Down in the strike zone, but key for Brandon is keeping that head still, not flying open that front shoulder.
Two outs, 2 on. Jeff Mathis at the plate. He had a single to right field, his first AB.
We just show Mickey Hatcher he's working with Brandon Wood. He knows the swing's there. I think it's all comes down to he has to work on the confidence level for him too. Just tell him to believe in himself, believe in his swing. Don't try to do too much at the plate. At the time it was a perfect swing.
On the ground at third, Punto plays a short hop, goes the short way, and there's out number 3. 4 complete. Twins still up 5-1. Come on back. We're going to try to set a record here. Guinness Book of World Records. We're rocking. We're rocking up here. That's right, with the Snuggie. want to pass down through generations. We were rocking the Snuggie here at the Big A. 5-1, top of the 5th inning. It is a pretty cool sight, though, looking around and seeing everybody wearing the red fleece blanket. 5 minutes. Everybody's got to wear it. I like the fact that everybody's standing up, and why not? Because when you're wearing this thing, it's all about showing it all off.
It's quite comfortable, too.
It is. And now the flash bulb's popping like it's the World Series. Now grounds one over to Davis, and there's out number 1. They're counting it right now. Got to be on for 5 minutes. I think the record is held, if I'm not mistaken, by the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Wow. LeBron James and the fellas.
That's going down tonight. No chance.
Well, I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now. What about you, Victor?
Just took LeBron to the hole. That's it. The one time that I could do that and claim that.
Yeah. Well, he's pretty good defensively, but, we can still shoot on him.
Hey, you know what? I think this makes it look a little bit more masculine when you get your hands on your hips. Seriously.
Like I said, it's really comfortable with a suit on, too.
Oh, just under 2 minutes. Feel the pressure. I don't know if these people can hang out. You could do it, Angel fans. Morno goes down swinging. There's out number 2.
Good pitch by Joe Saunders. He got Mao on a ground ball with his curveball. Was able to get Morno here, too. On the pitch in the outside part of the plate. Another good curveball.
I think Joe's feeling the vibe from the Snuggie. 2 up, 2 down. Are you kidding?
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Oh, this is almost like the ball dropping at Times Square. We're hitting the 1 minute mark. We better hear a countdown, too, from 10 on. Where's Dick Clark when you need him?
It's also a comforting feeling knowing that this pitch right here might be able to get through the inning here without be able to get the final countdown. With Joe doing his part, wide pitch off the outside corner. Team player.
Absolutely. Those are the things that are not measured by stats. A little Snuggie wave happening here at the ballpark. Kadire out to center field. Tory Hunter broke in, now breaks back. Can't track it down over his head. Kadire in at second with a double. Congratulations, Scooby. Man, just 2 games in, we've set a world record together. Man.
You are magical, Victor.
These things are warm. I'm working up a lather.
Like I said, I'm quite comfortable with, especially with a tie on, too. It's nice. It goes well, I think.
Absolutely. So Kadire on at second. And even with the world record in the books, we're still keeping these things on as Google pops one up. Tory is there for the 3rd out. Nothing happening for the Twins. Middle of the 5th inning. Twins up 5-1. Burt rocking the hat in the Snuggie. Nicely done. Team play. That's what they call it, a fleece blanket. I guess that's the category. Take a look at the AT&T trivia question. Tonight's Angel fans wore a world record, 30,000 plus Matsui fleece blankets. Which ex-player from Japan holds the world record for career home runs? I got a feeling I know which way you're going.
Well, I'm not going to go with Dean Chance.
That's where I thought you were going.
I thought about it. I know you're pretty good at this game.
You're getting serious now? Bottom of the fifth, 5-1 Twins. Top of the order due up for the Halos. Ibar, Abreu, and Hunter. Matsui should keep this inning going. Blackburn still with the 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. Not a strikeout pitcher. Obviously a guy that pitches to contact. Let his defense work behind him. And for someone who, throughout his career, even going back to last year, certainly he's not pitched that well against the Angels, and particularly here at the Big A. Looks like a guy who's got some swagger, some moxie out on the mound. No problem whatsoever thus far.
I think you can go back to that first inning when he was able to get the ground ball. Nice play by him. Fielded his position, made a good throw to second base. Got a double play. When you come in with an ERA at this particular ballpark, if you're a visiting pitcher and your ERA is at 9, everything you can possibly think is going to go wrong, it will go wrong. Walk the first 2 guys, but then all of a sudden you get that pitch, and then all of a sudden the confidence is there.
Ibar draws the walk. Leadoff man is on board.
Ibar led off the game yesterday with a walk, led off today with a walk, another walk in this spot. Patience at the plate from that leadoff position.
On base 3 times last night, on base 3 times thus far this evening. Abreu a walk and a single. He's 1 for 1. Mike Everett behind the plate calling the balls and strikes. A lot different strike zone to Tim McClellan. Do you find that difficult at times when you're starting pitcher?
That's one thing you kept a book on. Just like you think of hitters, where you're going to position your defense. It's also with umpires. Some umpires are low ball umpires. Some we call pitch up in the strike zone.
Abreu popping one up. Hardy's got it for round number 1.
There's a few umpires that I knew that they weren't going to call a lot of strikes, so I had to think in lines of throwing that first pitch over, trying to hit the outside part of the play, get some ground balls. Otherwise, it's going to be a long night for me.
Did you like the separation of the umpires, the American League, National League, versus to what it is today?
I never really dealt with that at that point. I noticed it in spring training. Whenever the perception was National League umpires called more strikes. They wanted a more aggressive game. They loved the pitch elevated. They would call that high fastball. American League, more of an offensive league, will call the low pitch. If you're a pitcher, a power pitcher, you prefer an umpire to call a higher pitch because you get guys that swing and miss. Down in the strike zone, you don't get many opportunities of guys that are going to miss a pitch at the knees down too often. More offensive league. Now you see the interchanging of all the umpires, so it's a different game now.
Throw at first and safe at first. A little bit of a delayed call there by Andy Fletcher. It's that quick move that you were talking about from Blackburn earlier in the game.
It's a big thing. If you're a right-handed pitcher, it's all about footwork. Shortening up your throw. You don't go through your long throw like you're going towards the plate. More of a, like you're throwing darts. Short, quick throw, but quick feet.
Tory skying one high and deep to right center field. This one's got a chance. Gone! Combo taco for Tory Hunter. 2-run shot. And the Angels back in it. It's 5-3.
tell you what, it's always nice to see that speed game going first, third, stealing the bag, scoring a run, manufacture up. But when you have the ability as a club to hit the home run, all of a sudden you're right back in the game with one swing of the bat, 2-run homer by Tory. Another fastball on the outside part of the plate. Again, Tory made the adjustment. If you're going to stay out, on the lookout on the outside part of the plate and drive it that way. That's what he's able to do, hit that to right center.
Second hit of the night, first home run of the season, first runs batted in. Matsui takes down and away. Four home runs hit last night, 4 home runs hit already tonight between these two ball clubs.
A great fastball count for Matsui right here.
Hideki, a strikeout victim of the first, lined into a double play that ended the third inning.
Sometimes that 5th inning, if you're a starting pitcher, you have a pretty good lead 5-1. That's the toughest 3 outs you're going to get in the course of a game, because then you're in line for the win if you get through that 5th inning. Not that you should be thinking ahead, but you want to make sure you're in line to be able to be in position to get that W.
There's a strike, and it's a full count. Kendry's on deck. Payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. 4th walk issued now by Blackburn. Brings up Morales, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground ball to second. Angel fans come to the Big A on Thursday to celebrate Mike Scioscia's 2nd American League Manager of the Year award. All fans in attendance will receive a free Mike Scioscia American League Manager of the Year bus, courtesy of AT&T. Tickets for this game now available for 50% off in select seating areas, which, when using the password Angels at angelsbaseball.com or the Angels Stadium ticket window. Rick Anderson, the pitching coach for the Twins, heads back to the dugout.
Talk about a guy that believes so much in that first pitch strike. Preaches that with his pitchers. And all of a sudden he put himself in position with one bad pitch to tie game. Because of that base on balls, the other one too. This inning scored because of that ball out of the strike zone.
Movement in that Twins bullpen as there is in the Angels bullpen. Looks like Joe Saunders may be done after 5 innings. 0-1. Chopper over the head of Morno, but Orlando Hudson is there. Blackburn's covering. They get the out. The traditional 4-1 put out at first base.
Well, Blackburn has certainly helped himself fielding position. That's a play where a lot of times a pitcher will freeze when it gets over the first baseman's head, thinking it's ahead. But you're taught to go to that side, and Eskimo shows over Morno's head. But Orlando Hudson, great in that position. Blackburn doing a shot. Anything on that side of the field, you always cover first. You'll be there on the bag, get the out. Prevent a big inning from possibly happening now because of that play.
2 outs. Hideki's over at second base. Juan Rivera at the plate. Juan takes that pitch inside. Juan's 0 for 2, twice having grounded out, once to second, once to third. 8 hits for the Twins tonight, 7 for the Angels. There, grounds one toward the hole, short, backhanded by Hardy. Strong throw gets Rivera, but the Angels chip away. They get 2 runs on Tory Hunter's first home run of the year. 2-run shot, 5 in the books. The Twins. .868 long ones in Japan. He averaged 44 bombs in his 19-year span. How about that?
That's consistency, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit. Time now for Who's In, Who's Out. Brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. Matt Palmer comes on in relief of Joe Saunders.
Well, Palmer probably saved the season last year for Mike Scioscia, Mike Butcher coming out of the bullpen, and it's a spot starter, 11-2 record, ERA 3.93. There's 13 starts in his 40 games. And sinks the fastball, cuts the fastball, good curveball also.
It's a strike on the outside corner for Delman Young. Palmer working 121 in the 3rd innings last year, giving up just 105 hits. Striking out 69. Delman Young off the end of the bat into right field, base hit. The Twins answered back with their leadoff man on board. Brings up J.J. Hardy. Scott Kazmir is on the disabled list. Will more than likely miss one shot, but was pretty good the other day, didn't he?
Boy, 7 innings pitched. They talked about getting him stretched out there in spring training, make sure he's ready to go and healthy once the season is officially going for Scott Kazmir. Good stuff. Looking down there in Arizona, we'll get an extended spring start here. Also, we'll go down to Retro Cucamonga, I think, and get another start before being activated, possibly in New York.
Scott. Numbers overall. Great numbers with the Angels.
The thing is, look for him to get that slider back in which he had in 07, which he led the American League in strikeouts. The feel for that pitch. Good companies in there with CC Sabathia, John Lackey, King Felix. He's second on the list as far as American League strikeouts since 05.
Ball popping out of the glove of Kendry. Trying to keep Delman Young close to the bag at first.
Well, Palmer, very good move to first base also. Good footwork there too. Delman was leaning.
There's a strike. No balls and 2 strikes now. 31-year-old right-hander, formerly of the San Francisco Giants organization. 0-2 on the ground to second. Kendrick to Ibar.
Nice job by the middle infielder, and also nice job from Matt Palmer. And thought about trying to reach out and make that play, but you got to let that ground ball go through. Howie in perfect position. Flips over to Ibar with that strong arm. Gets Hardy at first. 4-6-3 double play. A tough time getting out of his glove, Howie did. When you have a shortstop with that kind of a cannon, will make up for it.
Punto takes down low. He was 0 for 2 against Joe Saunders, both from the right side. So it spins around against Palmer. Saunders, by the way, 5 innings, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, 5 runs all earned on 8 hits, giving up 3 home runs. Punto taking the entire way, and there's 2 balls and a strike. 4-game series against the Twins to open up the year. Carl Pavano, Irvin Santana will tangle tomorrow night. And Kevin Slowey against Yoel Pinheiro. That's coming up on Thursday. Ever seen a schedule like that? 7 straight?
No, most times you see every team generally when they have that first game on Monday will have that off day Tuesday, but yeah, there's a pretty good chance it's going to be nice weather here in SoCal. So we're going to play consecutive games like that.
3-2 missed outside. Punto draws the 2-out walk. Tomorrow night's pitching matchup brought to you by Carl's Jr.
Well, Pavano was solid last year with 14 wins. Irvin Santana, we saw him throw the other day, this last spring training game against the Dodgers, 9 strikeouts. What a slider he had working. Velocity's back, healthy, and also just a couple of years ago in which he won 16 games. Well, Pavano saved that Minnesota club himself coming over in that deal from Cleveland. Threw the ball very well for him.
Span puts it on the ground. Ibar bobbles it. It looked almost like one of those where he was peeking toward the bag at second base before the ball actually got to his glove. It is an error on Ibar.
That's what shows that the last little bit of a hop. You're right. He peeked up to see if Howie was going to be at second for the force out. He'd be able to end the inning. Hit the heel of his glove. You don't see that too often from Merrick Ibar. Big spot for Matt Palmer here to be able to get through this inning, pick up his infielder. That's your job as a pitcher. After a mistake is made, you get him through this so he doesn't feel that much worse about the error.
Hudson on the ground to Kendrick. He's out number 3. Nothing happening for the Twins. 5.5 in the books. And the Twins still leading the Angels. and by your Southern California Ford dealers, where you'll find the new Transit Connect. Check it out at scforddealers.com. Beautiful shot of downtown Los Angeles, the I-10 freeway. There's no speed limit, as you can see. The cars just go as fast as they want. It's the Autobahn here in California.
Well, that's the way it always is every day. The traffic flowing that quickly. Never any traffic.
Yeah, good luck with that. Bottom of the 6th inning here at the Big A. 5-3 Twins. Bottom third of the order due up for the Angels. Kendrick, Wood, and Mathis. It's Nick Blackburn. Howie's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. Out to right to Dyer. Over to his left. One away. So that'll bring up Brandon Wood. Great crowd on hand here on the second game of the season. World record crowd now, I might add, for wearing a Snuggie or a fleece blanket.
It's good to be part of that.
Glad there was a whole lot of arm twisting to get us to put the Snuggie on.
See, that's working perfect there.
Fouling that one off. It's no balls and 2 strikes.
I just did notice you had your fleece blankie ready to go from the get-go to be a part of that record.
Been wearing that since Angels Live, the pregame show. I want to be ready. Topper over to Hardy. Number 2. So 2 quick outs for Blackburn here in the 6th inning. It brings up Jeff Mathis. Angels catcher getting back-to-back starts. Single back in the 3rd with fielder's choice in the 4th. So 1 for 2 evening thus far for Jeff. Pulled the string there, and it's quickly 0-2. Blackburn's thrown a lot of strikes tonight. 56 of his 85 pitches.
A good sequence of pitches here so far against Mathis. Fastball on the outside corner, then a changeup. Keeping hitters guessing.
And he got him a 1-2-3 inning. First time tonight the Angels have gone down in order. 6 complete for the Big A. Twins still up 5-3. peers, friends, family, teachers, parents, or guardians. The winners will be invited to an Angels Sunday home game and honored on the field during a pregame ceremony and take the field with the Angel players. To nominate or for more information, visit angelsbaseball.com. Top of the 7th here at the Big A. Twins up 5-3 as Joe Mauer takes a breaking ball in there for strike one. Mauer, Morno, Kadire against Matt Palmer in his second inning of relief. Joe Saunders went 5 in his first start of the year. Mauer lays off that sinker. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Twins catcher 1 for 3, a 2-run home run in the first inning off Saunders. Since then, he's grounded out twice to Howie Kendrick. So 1 for 3 night. Popped up. Third base side, long run over. It's in play. Brandon Wood makes a nice play, and there's out number 1.
Well, that was a nice play by Brandon. After that fastball snuck some cheese in on Joe Mauer's hand, he was able to get back, find a warning track, able to make the play. Sequence of pitches was able to get Joe Mauer inside with that fastball. Get the lazy fly ball for an out. Curveball slow. Key against a hitter like Joe Mauer. Make him think off-speed pitching to get that fastball inside.
Morno takes outside for ball 1. Brian Stokes is up and loosening now. Coming over in the offseason trade for Gary Matthews Jr. from the New York Mets. Morno's had a good night, 2 for 3. Single, a home run, a strikeout. The Angels don't play the full overshift against the Twins first baseman, but obviously shade him to pull with Wood way off the line at third base and Ibar shading him more towards the middle.
Morno get a dribbler down the third base line for an infield hit. Brandon playing more of a shortstop position against him.
Beautiful pitch on the inside corner, 2-2. Palmer not wasting a whole lot of time. Full count now on Morno. The payoff pitch. He lost him. Well, 1 out walk. Second issued by Palmer. Brings up Michael Kadire. Mentioned the great crowd on hand here. 43,510. Second straight sellout. Good way to start the season, of course. 2 very good ball clubs, 2 playoff teams. Twins doing a terrific job last year in that September run to catch the Detroit Tigers in the play-in game. On the ground, up the middle. Ibar taking himself. 6-3 goes the double play. Inning comes to an end. 7th inning stretch time at the Big A. Twins leading the Halos by the score of 5-3.
5-3 Twins. Bottom of the 7th inning. I'll remind you that the Angels and the Twins have 2 more on Wednesday and Thursday, but then Friday, the Oakland Athletics, talk about a division rival. It's Big Bang Friday. Fireworks after the ball game.
Firework display is outstanding.
Oh, big league. They don't mess around either. Game's over. Lights are off. Light it up.
Tickets still available, so you got to come out for that fireworks show.
AngelsBaseball.com, place to go. Eric Ibar takes a pitch inside from Nick Blackburn. Ibar's been on 3 times, a couple of walks, a fielder's choice. '88th pitch for Blackburn's in for a strike. Ibar pulling that one foul. No, Ibar now with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. On the heels of Scott Baker working just 4 2/3 last night. Blackburn working deep into this one. Twins ended up using 3 relievers in last night's losses. This one will find its way into the seats. Action in the Twins bullpen. Double barrel action at that. Right-hander and a left-hander. Brian Dunsing, the lefty. Matt Guerrero, the right-hander. Guerrero's name has been mentioned as a possible replacement to Joe Nathan, although John Roush is the guy that's going to be closing things out.
Guerrero definitely has a good fastball. Dunsing has started some games for the Twins in the past. That situational lefty for him now.
There's the big man, John Roush.
'75 games for Roush last year with a good ERA too. 3.60, 7-3 mark. Win-loss record.
On the ground to Morno. Blackburn covering. There's out number 1. Brings up Bobby Abreu. The numbers for Nick Blackburn so far this evening: 6 1/3, 9 hits, 3 runs all earned, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts.
Walked 2 guys in the first, 2 guys in the 5th.
Quality start as we speak right now, but this inning's not over.
That's one stat I'm not a huge fan of, that
so
quality
out
start.
on that.
Qualify for a quality start. 3 runs in 6 innings. That's an ERA of 4.50.
Yeah. It's a good goal to set.
That's why Nolan Ryan is so adamant about that. He wants his guys to think in lines of 9 innings, not being satisfied going 5 or 6.
Bobby taking the off-speed pitch in for a strike, and it's 1-2. Abreu will walk, a single, and a pop-up. Blackburn trying to paint that outside corner, just missing. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Same thing there. You saw it, Blackburn go right through his mouth there. The old rule was you have to be off the mound dirt to go to your mouth. It would be an automatic ball, but they changed that rule this year to speed up the game instead of walking around. Saunders asking home plate umpire Mike Everett if he'd go to the mouth. They're on the dirt. It's a rule change that just came into effect basically at the start of the season. Yeah, it's all about trying to speed up the game. See pitchers a lot will walk off the dirt to be able to go to their mouth. That way they won't be given a ball.
Big fan of that as a pitcher? You?
I wouldn't mind if they were able to go to the mouth on the mound, the dirt.
Come on. You never did?
No. Come on, Vic.
Boy, you sold me. I believe you. 3-2. That's reaching out and fouling that one off.
That was with conviction.
Slowly but surely, I'm learning. #100th pitch of the game for Blackburn, and he gets a break on the high fastball. Fourth strikeout, out number 2, brings up Tory Hunter as we go back and look at the Hyundai keys to the game with Joe Saunders.
Joe Saunders coming in very solid against the Minnesota Twins. 3-1 mark. They're just over 4, and the Twins struggled mightily against left-handed pitching last year, but that changed around. Joe Saunders had command issues early in that game, getting that fastball elevated. Of course, the hitters for the Twins, a little bit different club the last couple of years as far as home run power. Capitalized with 3 of them.
Tory thinking of dropping one down there after having a good night tonight, 2 for 3, including that 2-run home run he had in the 5th. This is what he did in the 5th inning.
Well, he knew it right away. Got that fastball on the outside part of the plate. They've been living out there against these first 2 games. Fastballs away, showing him in, but trying to get him out away.
That is ripped over the bag at third. That's going to go for extra bases. Tory in at second with a double.
You can see how quick he is on the pitch on the inner part of the plate. That wasn't a bad pitch by Blackburn. That was off the inside corner, but so quick. Fastball in. But Tory quicker. On the line for a double.
3rd hit of the night for Tory Hunter. We're going to get ourselves a pitching change here. Nice job by Nick Blackburn. He's responsible for Tory Hunter on the base paths. Hunter talking things over with Orlando Hudson. 5-3 Twins. Time now for Alexis pursuing perfection.
Boy, that swing by Joe Mauer. Fastball, middle down. He's at center field. The former MVP himself, also Justin Morno, got a pitch down in the strike zone. Inner half, but down. Hit it out. And Hardy, all that power to center field himself. 3 home runs for the Twins. That is our Alexis pursuing perfection.
Time now for who's in, who's out. Nick Blackburn is out after 6 2/3, 8 hits, 3 earned runs. He's gotten 1 on the base paths that belong to him. 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. Brian Dunsing, the left-hander, takes over out on the mound with Hideki Matsui at the plate.
Dunsing with a fastball, 88-91. 5-2 mark last year. He's got a curveball, a slider, and a changeup.
Hideki takes a fastball outside for ball 1. Dunsing, not a big guy, 5'11". From the 3rd round pick in 05. As you pointed out, he was a guy that a swing guy. 24 games last year, including 9 starts up in the big leagues. Matsui fouls one off, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. We're going to listen in to the broadcast of NHK going back to Japan.
ボールだと思うんですね。惜しいとおっしゃいましたね。これも惜しかったですね。はい。タイミング的には悪くないんですけども。昨日は左ピッチャーの外角のスライダーを打ちました。またインコース折れました。
Matsui grounds out to end the inning. 7 in the books. Minnesota Twins still lead. The 8th inning. Now for who's in, who's out, brought to you by In and Out. Matt Palmer is no longer in the ballgame. Gives way to Brian Stokes.
Stokes threw the ball very well in spring training. Good fastball, rushed it up there, 91-93. Great breaking pitch too. Another guy that has good sink action on the fastball. 69 games last year, ERA 3.97 for the Mets.
Jason Kubel, Delman Young, J.J. Hardy to face Brian Stokes. 30-year-old. Time in the big leagues, as I just pointed out, with the New York Mets, Tampa Bay Rays. Signed as a non-drafted free agent by the Rays. 1998. Riverside, California. Went to high school in Riverside. Went to Riverside Community College.
Talk about locating the fastball. 94 right on the outside corner at the knees. Perfect spot.
Almost got Kubel on that breaking pitch. Count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kubel a walk, a strikeout, and a fly ball to center. So he's 0 for 2. Numbers that Kubi just reeled off for all career highs in games, innings pitched, strikeouts. Equaling his career high in wins last year with the Mets. Had a very good spring, too, for the Angels. 1-0 and a 2.40 ERA. A lot of innings, too. 15 innings. In games that count, where stats are taken, as he loses Kubel here. Walks the leadoff man. Brings up Delman.